Welcome, everybody, yet another episode of TheDoubleZTV, where y'all know by now. Here, my show, I'm the champ. Deal the bitches. So, we got a little special here. 2 days in a row, 2 videos covering each night of Wrestlemania 36. This video will be Night 1 review, and tomorrow's video will be Night 2. So let's cover the show. I'm not going to cover the pre-show matches because I don't really focus them into a full-on show, so let's just jump right into it. So we first start off with the show with the whole big montage showing people singing America the Beautiful throughout all the WrestleManias in the past, which makes sense. They're not going to be able to get somebody at the Performance Center with the whole lockdown stuff going on to sing it live, or, well, live, but you know what I mean. And that's how it is. You have Stephanie McMahon making her little intro, welcome everybody to WrestleMania. And then you have Mr. Rob Gronkowski, or whatever his name was, and Mojo being like, bro, let's get hyped, it's WrestleMania. Don't care. Next tag team championship match to begin. The defending champions, Kabuki Warriors, being Asuka and Kairi Sane, defending against former champions, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Very two teams that fought for the titles and had that title change. I think it was like, what, around October or something like that. Kabuki Warriors turned heel. They've been holding the titles ever since. Green mist all upon everybody. Surprisingly, we did not see any green mist tonight, which was kind of a relief. Some highlights of the match: you saw Alexa do an apron cannonball off of the apron onto Asuka onto the floor, which was a pretty nice touch. You know Alexa is known for like her athleticism, like due to gymnastics and everything. Never thought she would do a cannonball senton. That's usually something more for McFoley, but it was a nice addition. You also saw a nice little combo of a bulldog and basement dropkick by the Kabuki Warriors. You even saw Kairi do a big, insane elbow drop to Nikki Cross, who was getting the pin onto Asuka in order to break that up. So, pretty clever way, even though you don't really want to take your time while doing that, like with a high-risk maneuver, but still nice there. Later on, you saw the Asuka locked on to Nikki Cross. Nikki was on her stomach, Asuka on her back. Alexa breaking that up with the Twisted Bliss, but Alexa cannot capitalize because Kairi would spear her right out of her boots. Ooh, not pretty there. And then the one part that really got aggravating, they were trying this whole setup for that corner spot, and you saw camera cuts non-stop. Just here. You don't need 500 angles to prepare for a spot. Especially when it's just like boom, 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 boom. You could pretty much put like a machine gun type of sound effect lined up to that freaking camera cut crap that was constantly going on because it was that rapid. Just get ready for this one moment. But in the end, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross would get the victory after a neckbreaker Twisted Bliss combo on a Kairi Sane for the pin, and we have brand new women's tag team champions. First ever 2-time women's tag team champions now. Congratulations to Nikki and Alexa. Overall, a pretty nice match. It felt a slight bit long, but you know what? They had 3 hours to kill for a main card. And it was nice to have a title change to start the show, so I'll give them their props. Match number 2, the match that was just thrown together. Burger King Corbin versus Elias. All because Rob Gronkowski, or whatever his name is, decided, hey, you guys are going to have a match at WrestleMania. Just you two. And the whole build, you have freaking Elias doing his concert and King Corbin knocking him off the balcony and everything. And King Corbin even cut a promo thinking, oh, he's not gonna be here! Referee! Start counting to 10 so I win via forfeit! But then out comes Elias. They start a brawl. Elias breaks his guitar over King Corbin's back. They have some brawls. Like, this wasn't really anything special for a match. One nice spot was when Elias got hit with the hot shot somewhat by King Corbin, but just flew a bit too far and went right out to the outside. And one move I saw Elias doing this match you don't see often in any WWE anymore is the overdrive. That was a finisher I know like Carlito did and Mike Knox. I think Test might have done it. You don't see that move that often, but it was nice to see Elias pull this one out. At the end, King Corbin tried to get a victory using the ropes. Referee caught him, and Corbin starts arguing with the referee. Elias recovers with a roll-up and use of the tights for leverage for the victory. This was an okay match at best. This was just one of those thrown-together matches where it's like they had time to kill. They couldn't get a build in time, so it's just like, here, you two fight, go at it with the minimal build. And you keep wondering, you saw that build where Elias fell off the balcony. How was he physically able to even stand after that fall? All he had was like tape up on his shoulder and a kind of a bandage around his head. That was it. Shouldn't his back be like very freaking bruised or something like that? Shouldn't he have a concussion or blood coming out of his head? I mean, that's kind of reminding me of all these other falls and everything we see in WWE history where then somebody still shows up. It's like, no, they're all right. 2 matches down, 6 to go. Match number 3, the Raw Women's Championship on the line. The man defending against the Queen of Spades. Becky Lynch defending against Shayna Baszler. I like the build that they had for this. When Shayna debuted on Raw, just hungry for blood after biting into the back of Becky's neck. Blood all over her face. Some interactions as time went on. This match, I'm just going to say right off the bat, I felt the wrong person won for this. And I'll explain why once the end of the match comes along. Some of the highlights you saw, Becky Lynch about to get powerbombed, but reversed into a Frankensteiner/Hurricane Rana onto Shayna on the floor. Nice double underhook into a cutter by Shayna. I think we see that in WWE 2K20, but I can't remember. Nasty spot where Becky got the manhandle slam or uranagi, whatever it's called, to Shayna on the apron. Not the first, last time we're going to see apron spots on this show. We usually see that whole heel thing where the heel steals the finisher for the face, just rub it in, and that's what we saw with Shayna hitting the disarm her on a Becky, but didn't last that long. And one nasty spot we kept seeing where Becky was like just getting constantly swung a few times right into that commentary table, like out on the floor. I saw people even when we were doing a live chat on Good Mike Works live stream where people was like, uh-oh, Shayna's giving Becky CTE. Yeah. In the end, this was similar to how like you saw the finish for WrestleMania 8, only without that rope leverage for like getting off the momentum. Shayna had her whole coquina clutch, like sleeper finisher onto Becky. Becky breaks free from the hold a little bit, bridges backwards into a pin, and gets the victory over Shayna. So like I said, it's like the WrestleMania 8 finish we saw for Bret Hart, Roddy Piper, just without using the corner to really get that flip. Good overall match, but like I said, I felt that Shayna should have won because it's like, Becky's been champion for a year now, and it's like, really, why, like, who else would there be to defend the title against me? They could do, like, they're most likely going to do a rematch down the line, but they probably could have done it a bit to spice things up more if Shayna won the title, because really, Becky's got nothing to gain by beating another person she's never beaten before. This would have been a good time for a heel to walk out as champion, but what can we do? But still a solid match overall. Match number 4, Ginger Screech from Saved by the Bell defending the Intercontinental Championship against Daniel Bryan. I had a feeling something was going on where this finish was somehow involved Cesaro and Shinsuke, and of course, I am right. But the match starts, Sami's doing the whole cowardly heel, and his outfit made him look like some kind of low-budget movie director that you'll see like with those behind-the-scene camera shots where he's sitting in the chair. He's got that big freaking boom megaphone thing there with that possibly that banana set, like out in the middle of some kind of wilderness area. They're like, action! The whole time Sami's just constantly running for his life. Cesaro and Shinsuke stepping in front of Daniel to cut him off and everything, to piss him off. Juice starts getting involved in some of the action. Action starts picking up. You saw a nasty suicide dive by Daniel Bryan to Sami Zayn into the barricade. It's just like, ooh, hard hit there. At the end, once again, like I said, Cesaro and Shinsuke would end up getting taken out after getting hit with kind of a weak-looking suicide dive onto the ramp. Daniel Bryan jumps onto the top rope, tries to go for a dive, probably like almost like a missile drop kick or front drop kick initially, but Sami hits him in midair with the haluva kick for the pin. It was an alright match. I feel it was a bit of a letdown. They could have probably done more, but it was alright, and that surprise finish, a haluva kick out of midair to retain the title, I can live with that. Alright, now match number 5. One of those matches that got changed. Initially, it was going to be The Miz and John Morrison versus the Usos versus the New Day in a triple threat tag team ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, but unfortunately, The Miz has fallen down due to illness, so that means it was just going to be John Morrison defending the tag team titles against Kofi Kingston and Jimmy Uso in a triple threat ladder match. Everybody's wondering, oh, how can this happen if it's not teams? Well, if you remember Raw Roulette from 2002, Kane did not have a tag team partner to defend the titles with, but he still retained it all on his own, even if he had other teams and everything. But one person can defend a tag team championship on his own, so that's what happened here. This match overall, I think, actually exceeded expectations. People did not know what to expect with 3 men. They did a great job overall for this tag team title match. You had the whole steel mace sequence where everybody's just like countering and reversing moves and landing on their feet and everything. You know, the type of stuff that you see between like one-on-one with cruiserweights, like in WCW, something like that back in the day. Kofi tried doing a big swing through the ladder, but Jimmy and John Morrison both caught him coming through the ladder and just dumped him right outside because they knew what was coming. Jimmy gets laid out onto the ladder that is laid out horizontally between the top and middle ropes, and John Morrison hits a Starship Pain off the top rope onto Jimmy. I didn't think it was going to nail that landing, but it was actually pretty good. Morrison was later on the ladder, and Kofi finally recovered in time to hit a springboard Hurricane Rana. Even though it was still slightly botched, but still managed to nail the move. In another big spot, Jimmy tries doing a whole, almost like a tightrope type balance onto the barricade, but Kofi just takes a ladder and just hurls it right at Jimmy and knock him right off. Nice little hit there. Later, Jimmy is laying on that horizontal ladder between the barricade and the ring. Kofi looks like he's ready to go up top and just send Jimmy right through that ladder, but then John Morrison tight ropes, walks right off the top rope and hits a big Spanish fly to Kofi off the top, which quickly prompts Jimmy to jump up, get on the top rope, and superfly splash onto John Morrison. Great touch there. A little later on, Kofi gets smashed right face first into the bridging ladder, which got brought into the ring and used between the standing ladder and the ring rope, and then Jimmy under his line saying,
"Eat that, Kofi. Flatten your face like a pancake, boy."
But that did lead also a bit afterwards to a nice little touch where John Morrison did a bit of a flipping like parkour roll over the ladder, jumps up onto the ladder, tries to dive off onto Jimmy, who nails him in midair with the super kick. Match finish. I saw this finish, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of the finish from the ladder match, triple threat ladder match we saw from Jack Swagger, Kofi Kingston, and Dolph Ziggler from TLC 2010. All three men are on top of the ladder, kind of grabbing for the titles, and that little hook, whatever they call, I'll just call it a hook, kind of piece there that we've seen since around TLC 2013. Hanging there, everybody's trying to tussle for it. Both Kofi and Jimmy knocked John Morrison off, but John had the tag team titles in his grasp as he fell, which came loose out of that hook-like holster. And since he technically fell to the floor and had the belts in possession, he is the winner. And like I said, that kind of reminds me of the triple threat TLC 2010 match, which I mentioned, where Jack Swagger and Kofi were fighting over the belt. The belt fell and landed into Dolph's possession when he was there onto the ring canvas, which was why he won, because it's first person to get possession of the physical belt itself, technically, is the winner. So that's kind of how they did it. And I thought that was pretty clever / creative for what they did here. Overall, so far, this was the match of the night leading up to this. Pretty creative. They were limited, like I said, they wasn't a triple threat tag team match. They were limited by Miz being out and Big E and Jay not being involved. So they did what they could with who they had, and they did really well. So props there. So far, match of the night, but that's going to change. You all know why. All right, 3 matches left. Next up, Kevin Owens, a.k.a. Jelly Donut, versus the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. And it's weird. You got an atheist, and yet his character name has a term such as Messiah in it. Very odd, but kind of funny. This whole feud had been going on for months, with Kevin Owens accusing Seth Rollins of being aligned with AOP, which ended up being true in the long run. Seth finally turning heel after all the heat he had been garnering because of his Universal title run and stuff with The Fiend and his whole stuff on social media. So finally, these two were able to go at it. And this, at first, it let people down, which I'll explain why, but then they redeemed it. Both men going back and forth and everything. You saw two big, like I said earlier, the whole stuff with the apron spot with Shana and Becky was not the last time you see apron spots, because we saw 2 of them back-to-back in this match, where Kevin Owens looked like he was either going for a powerbomb or a pile driver or something on the apron, but gets reversed to a back body drop onto the apron where that whole LED board is, and then Seth follows up afterwards with a Falcon Arrow on the apron. Harsh landing there. You also saw both men trading sequences there, trying to avoid super kicks and stunners and pop-up powerbomb attempts. Another big scary moment. Both men were on top. Seth Rollins tried to do a sunset flip powerbomb. Kevin Owens hung on. Buckle bomb. Super kick to standing Kevin Owens, then kneeling. Then when Seth Rollins tried to go for the stomp, boom, pop-up powerbomb into a sit-out variation by Kevin Owens for a near fall. Ha, so close. Towards the end, both men were on the apron. Seth Rollins tries going running. Kevin Owens runs after him, but it was like Kevin Owens just got suckered in because Seth Rollins grabbed the ring bell. Boom! Knocked Kevin Owens in the side of the head, caused him the DQ. Referee's like, ring the bell! And I'm like, you have to get it from Seth Rollins first in order to ring it. So that was a letdown, but then they redeemed themselves. Seth Rollins was going up the ramp. Kevin Owens was still in the ring, grabbed the mic, and called Seth Rollins to come back down, restart the match. No DQ, no rules, which Seth Rollins agreed to, and the match commenced. Both men eventually get back on the outside. Steel step shot to the side of Kevin Owens' head, which was nasty. Both men start brawling again and everything. The announce table starts getting torn down. Kevin gets revenge with 2 bell shots upside Seth Rollins' head. Kevin Owens then disappears to the back as Seth is laying on the table, climbs onto the WrestleMania 36 sign, and jumps up with an elbow drop connecting to Seth Rollins and both men crashing through the table. Then Kevin Owens finishes off, rolls Seth Rollins back into the ring, standing up. Rollins is selling like he has like the freaking stomach flu or something like that. Kevin is getting begged off by Seth. He's like, don't do this. Too bad, kick, stunner. Kevin Owens wins. Very solid match right here around the midway, a little past the midway point of the show. Glad they restarted the match to kind of swerve everybody thinking we're going to have some kind of cheap finish. They brought it back. A couple great spots to really bring up the drama for the last part of the match. And really did a well done job. So, good match overall, and KO Mania 4 is a success. Now, there are technically 8 matches, but there's somebody we know that decided to run in R-Truth, the 24/7, 365 ESPN European television, out of this world, universal, outer space, NASA champion, whatever it is, talks to both Rob Gronkowski or whatever his name is and Mojo Rawley, thinking he's not safe and everything. It's like, he should be safe, social distancing and everything, probably stop people from being able to come within 6 feet of you. He comes between them, Gronkowski freaking hits R-Truth, tries getting the pin, Mojo throws Gronkowski off of R-Truth, and then Mojo gets his pin on R-Truth just right after that to win the 24/7 championship and hightail it out of there. Well, wouldn't be WrestleMania or some WWE show without the 24/7 championship, so alright. Also backstage, Paul Heyman starts hyping up everything involving Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar, saying about the next night happening for the WWE Championship. Who's gonna win? My name is Paul. And he even looked at Charlie, he's like, what are you looking so scared for? And Charlie's like, oh, sorry, Paul, you just scared the shit out of me. She could scare the shit out of somebody just walking around dressed up like a freaking yellow highlighter with that dress, but now we're down to the last 2 matches. Another one that was a replacement. Goldberg, originally defending the championship against Roman Reigns. So instead, out of nowhere, they just decided, hey, Roman's not going to be it. So instead, Braun Strowman's going to get the match. And I'm like, okay. So both men just have a big stare down. Next thing you know, it just starts being finisher mania, like we've got just constantly been seeing with Goldberg matches. Freaking both men stare each other down. Braun tries to go for a power slam, freaking stops there. Freaking 3 spears in a row for a near fall by Goldberg. Hits a 4th spear, tries to go for a jackhammer. Braun prevents it. 4 power slams in a row. And Braun Strowman is then the new Universal Champion. Kind of feels out of nowhere. Bad match. Because, like, I think this... I kept saying, looking into this, that Goldberg was only having this title just so we could have a match at WrestleMania and drop the title. But him having a match just felt pointless because, like I said, most of his matches, well, pretty much every match he's had has just been him repeating 1 or 2 moves. Spears and jackhammers. Nothing else. Like, he had more move variety back during his first WWE run. It was just spears, trying to go for a jackhammer, power slams, and that's it. I mean, one good thing I'll say is, congrats to Braun Strowman, you finally win your first World Championship in WWE, and this means Braun Strowman is now a Grand Slam champion. And now the big attraction, the main event from WrestleMania 36 Night 1, and now that I've been thinking about it, can WrestleMania 36 say it has a double main event because you have main event for Night 1 and Night 2? The show as a whole technically has 2 main events, so finally the big match, Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. Both men have been trading shots, kind of like these work shoot promos and everything, talking about real names, Michelle McCool, who's old, who's not, and everything. And then AJ decides to challenge Undertaker for a Boneyard match. Nobody knew what it was. But then this match happens. The look and the feel had a bit of a mix between what felt like an Ultimate Deletion type of match and kind of the House of Horrors, like with the way that everything was set up and edited and everything. This match, I feel, was the match of the night because of how great it was. AJ makes his grand entrance coming out the back of a hearse, being inside a casket. Freaking arms crossed and everything. That casket opens up. Ha! It ain't so scary around here. They're on a cemetery. It's kind of got like a bit of a barn type structure on the side. You got a grave with a tombstone and that tractor full of dirt and everything in there. Definitely fits the scene. And down comes the Undertaker on a motorcycle. Up comes Undertaker wearing one of those old type, like his upper attire kind of looked like the top that he would usually wear back in 1998, had his bandana on, so a bit of a mix between Deadman, but also still the American Badass slash Big Evil, which was awesome. I got freaking chills from seeing Undertaker come arriving there on a motorcycle. Both men start brawling and everything, start going around the hearse and everything, all that stuff. Undertaker grabs what looks like a bit of like a mini pipe or something like that. AJ moves out of the way. Undertaker's arm just goes right through the window. I saw that. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm getting flashbacks from Goldberg doing that to a window of a limo back in WCW. Thankfully, the bleeding wasn't too bad. Both men start brawling a lot more. AJ somehow manages to get a low blow on the Undertaker. AJ initially falls into the grave, but then Gallows and Anderson arrive. Parts of fences from the side of the building come down, and out come a lot of druids from SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. Undertaker just grabs a shovel, he's physically beating down every one of the druids coming his way, uses the shovel to break down the OC, but then I think AJ grabbed like a tombstone or something like that material, just broke it over the back of the Undertaker. The Undertaker somehow eventually rises to his feet, and AJ just spears him right into that fence on the side of the barn to completely take it down. Both men are just breathing heavily, like they're just like, I'm dying. Undertaker gets challenged to get stand back up by AJ. Undertaker's just like, Both men start brawling a little bit more. AJ grabs a shovel and just breaks it over the back of the Undertaker, falls into the grave. AJ jumps into that tractor, about ready to dump the pile of dirt in there. Then Undertaker pulls what he does at WWE 2K14's Defeat the Streak mode, just appear right from behind AJ Styles. Undertaker and AJ get up on top of the roof of the barn. OC tries getting involved. There's a wall of fire appearing behind AJ so he can't escape. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, they're completely taken care of. AJ gets chokeslammed off the roof. AJ tries pleading for mercy after he barely even standing. Undertaker brought him over to the grave. Like, it's okay. I respect you. It's all good. AJ standing, think it's all done. Undertaker turns back around. Big boot to AJ. Knocks him into the grave. Dumps the dirt. AJ's done. And only his one hand is laying out of the grave. This Undertaker puts his bandana back on. The roof of the barn has fire burning out of it, and you see that big light of his symbol on the side of the building before Undertaker gets back on his motorcycle to call it a night. So overall, in terms of the first night of WrestleMania 36, I thought this was good. I mean, the tag team title match was better than expected, despite the changes that had to happen. Even though I did not like the whole booking of the Universal Championship match, I still gotta give my congrats to Braun Strowman for being a Grand Slam champion, finally winning a Universal title, his first world title in his career. R-Truth losing the 24/7 championships, whatever. Kevin and Seth did pretty good after the restart. Boneyard match was awesome. Very, very, very entertaining. Tag team title match for the women at the beginning was fine. Elias and Corbin just didn't feel like it belonged. It was just thrown there. The Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn felt a bit of a letdown, but it was alright, and I'm still perplexed on why Becky won, but maybe we'll find out what their plan is going forward for a rematch. Like, if they eventually have a rematch again in the near future, whenever she'll start picking up again, Shana's got to win again, or finally win the title now. But anyway, overall, if I had to give it a letter grade, I'd give, in terms of overall presentation, like I said, they were limited on what they could do because of the whole real world situation. I'd give it at least a B-, at the least. Like I said, I was very entertained, maybe because this is my first time watching WrestleMania as it happened for the first time in 4 years, but I like it. Thought they did a good job for the first night. So, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, come back to this channel. You're going to get my review of night 2 of WrestleMania 36. Taping this right after night 1 ends, so who knows how it's going to be. Let me know what you guys thought about night 1 in the comment section below, and I hope to see you all for the review for night 2 tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya. Champ has spoken, bitches.